that actually divides the complex, the mosque complex to this temple. Now, if we actually take this wall down, you can see the Nandi right there. This is where the problem area is. If you can see that the Nandi is facing not towards the Kashi Vishwanath temple, but towards the mosque. But before we actually go into that, there is a break that we're getting on the broadcast. In just a short while from now, the Varanasi court will be pronouncing its verdict on whether the Hindus' plea to worship inside the Gyanvapi Mosque complex is maintainable or not. In fact, the judges have arrived. Let's get my colleague Pranshu back on the broadcast. Pranshu, just take us through what you see. The judges, I believe, have arrived at the court complex.
Yes, that's right. See, in fact, there is a lot of activity which is happening out here, and we are getting, this fresh updates from the court. Well, yes, the latest update coming here is that the internet services in this area, in the court premises at least, they have been barred. They have been stopped just to ensure that no, false messages are circulated or any rumor is spread. And even before the court decides, some messages are not circulated because, see, in a moment of a lot of speculation, this is also a moment when we can't actually, allow speculations to take place. So we are getting this message. Meanwhile, we are still waiting for the court to actually resume the hearing. Any time from now, we are expecting the judge to be inside the court. And then further, we'll have to wait whether he's going to deliver his order immediately, or he decides to conduct some, handle some pending businesses before the court and then come to the judgment part. That needs to be seen. But what we are expecting is that now, since it's post-lunch time already, any time now we can hear that crucial order that whether the petition filed by the Hindu women devotees, whether it is maintainable or it is not maintainable.
Absolutely. Pranshu, let me take this across to Ananya as well, who is also joining us on the broadcast. Ananya, there would be two sides, of course. Now that if we look at, as we stand by for that order to come out of the Varanasi District and Sessions Court, what is expected? The pleas that have been presented by the Hindu side, if at all they are maintainable and that is decided by the court, what happens in that case?
Well, definitely, if at all this petition of the Hindu side, the plea, the suit of the Hindu side, to be particular in nature, is said to be maintainable, the Order 7 Rule 11 application is dismissed, that has been filed by the Muslim side, then the exercise that has been conducted by the Advocate Commissioner would have its virtue. The Advocate Commissioner's report would have its virtue, and the suit can proceed further, wherein both of the sides can put in their arguments whether and how the religious characteristic of this place was decided wrongly, and it is actually a temple. So essentially what the Hindu side has constantly been arguing before the Varanasi court and also the Supreme Court was that this was a temple which was raised and then a Gyanvapi mosque was basically built on this. They also go on to say that there was a shivling out there which has come out during the Advocate Commissioner's survey. Apart from that, they said that the Nandi is facing towards the Gyanvapi mosque, which means that it was a temple that was there, because Nandi is always facing towards the shivling according to the mythology. And in fact, when the matter had reached the topmost court of the country, the Supreme Court, the Hindu side had filed almost a 250-page affidavit giving out not only legal arguments but also orders of previous imperial court of British law when the Britishers were ruling this government, the country, which clearly showed that this was particularly a Hindu temple that was existing there. Apart from that, they had also given excerpts from the Skanda Puran, the Shiv Puran and various other religious books which suggested that there lied a temple therein. However, the Muslim side had continuously argued that first of all, this suit is not maintainable under Order 7 Rule 11 because the said prayers cannot be granted as there is a bar under Section 4.2 and Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act 1991, and hence a redetermination of the religious characteristic of this particular place cannot be done. Apart from that, the Muslim side has constantly argued that what has come out in the Advocate Commissioner's survey is actually a fountain that was there in the mosque in the previous times, which got excavated and got down into, in fact, deep down, and could not be recovered then. But what is very, very crucial at this point of the time is that no Advocate Commissioner's report would be considered at this moment. Only what would be considered is, first of all, whether the prayers that are there in the Hindu side suit can be granted under the law. Can there be a redetermination of a religious characteristic of this particular place? Thirdly is what evidences are there in order to prove the case on either of the side. While the Hindu side has given out not only Skand Puran, the Shiv Puran, the Bhagavad Puran and other religious scriptures apart from the orders of the British court and various other documents, the Muslim side too has presented its argument basically premised on the fact that this is not at all permissible and cannot, the redetermination of a religious character cannot be taken place. But what happens today is that if at all this application is dismissed, then the Muslim side would go running before either the Allahabad High Court or before the topmost court of the country, that is the Supreme Court, challenging these orders. And if the case is vice versa, then the Hindu side would be doing the same, presenting its argument before a higher court, whether it's the Allahabad High Court or the Supreme Court. That's a matter of time and we'll get to know. But today's order remains to be very, very crucial, and that's why the security in the area is very, very tight. Seeing that no kind of
Ananya, let me take this across to Pranshu as well. Pranshu, we are told that 43 people are allowed inside the court premises. The lawyers of both sides have arrived at the moment. But if we go back in history a bit, you know, the first time the religious character of the Gyanvapi Mosque was questioned was way back in 1991. After that, till 2019, there was nothing. So for 20 years, this case was really dormant till about after that entire Ayodhya verdict is when a fresh petition was really filed. If you actually have spoken to the people on ground in Varanasi, what is the mood and the sentiment that has been associated with this entire Kashi Vishwanath corridor and the Gyanvapi Mosque complex that you see on ground? If you can just break it down for our viewers.
Yes, that's right. You know, you're precisely right. The first petition in the modern times that was filed in this case was way back in 1991. And if you remember in 2021 early part, I think February or March, when the local civil judge court has ordered for a ASI survey, and you remember it has asked the state government to constitute a 5-member team comprising of 3 members from the ASI to do the survey of this place so that the character of this place, the ancient character, the original character of this place could be decided upon. Now, immediately after that, the Sunni Waqf Board has approached the High Court, again giving the same argument that the petition that was filed in 1991 was not maintainable under the Places of Worship Act, and therefore the order which came in 2021, almost 30 years later, is not applicable. That case is also pending before the High Court. And interesting, today itself there is a routine hearing which is also going to happen in the Allahabad High Court. Now this case, the Maa Shringar Gauri case, was again filed earlier in 2019 or 20, and then in this case the petition was not about determining the nature of this entire place, or the dispute was not about the Kashi Vishwanath versus the Gyanvapi. It was primarily 5 women praying that we should be given a right to worship the Maa Shringar Gauri as we used to do before 1990 on a daily basis. And in this petition we saw fast-paced court orders coming up, Advocate Commissioner survey report, then survey report was completed. On the basis of that survey commission report, the Hindu side approached the court claiming that even before the court has deliberated on the content and the meaning of the survey report, the Hindu side claimed that the survey report suggests that the fountain at Vazukhana is actually an ancient shivling and that area was blocked. And thereby, this case also became almost synonymous to the debate of Kashi Vishwanath versus the Gyanvapi. Though in its original form, it was just about the Maa Shringar Gauri versus the
right
Gyanvapi.
to pray. Absolutely,
Now, technically,
Pranshu.
we have